right. Well, I've got about half a glass of brandy over there. We'll have to share.
Oh, that could be taken as very provocative, you know.
Make a note of it and I'll sign it. Hey, that wasn't a bad bit of pasta.
It ought to be. Came very well recommended, that place.
Who by?
Ted Collins on CID. His missus is Italian.
Oh, well. It's good enough for the natives.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want coffee?
Mm-hmm. No.
Won't take a minute.
Give it a miss, Ayla. Sit down.
There, little sips.
After you.
Polite policeman.
Terribly well brought up.
Were you? I don't mean that insultingly. What was your childhood like?
Average.
Oh, come on, what does that mean?
Normal. Nice mum, nice dad, not a lot of trouble. I suppose it's down to mum, really.
Yeah.
She was the one who worked at it. Dad was always a bit fiery, you know. Not a lot of patience. But a great fella for the treats. Oh, yes, I was the real pace setter on our street. First kid with everything. New bike, new skates, new guitar, the lot.
Bet that made you popular.
Idolised.
I see. Used to that treatment, then?
You can never get enough of it, though, can you?
Go on.
No, really. You have it all, honest.
Oh, careful, copper, too.
Very.
If Eddie said all those things, he means them, you know.
Maybe at the time.
No. He means them. If he gets it into his head to do something, he'll do it.
Yeah. I'm in a hell of a position on her. Sometimes I wish to God I'd never started it all. That's not true either. Just that Dad's up to his neck in all this. And what the hell am I supposed to do about it all?
Got no answer?
No, I don't suppose there is one. You promised me something.
Oh, dear, not one of my strong points.
But whichever way this comes out for Dad, for Eddie, you won't let it wreck anything between us, will you?
I'll do my best. Come on.
I didn't realise the restaurant was doing so well.
You've seen the figures.
Statistics aren't people. They're quieter for one.
Good evening, Mrs. Hunter.
Oh, good evening, Glenda. I already know what I'm going to have. I'm going to have fishy swaz to start with. Then I have chicken Kiev with peas and spinach.
No potatoes?
No potatoes, thank you.
Avocado vinaigrette, lamb chops, carrots, peas, and boiled potatoes, please.
Any wine?
Yes, please. I'm going to have a half bottle of number 6.
Right.
And half a bottle of number 27.
27. Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, dear. It's terribly intent. Do a little fervent eye-gazing, and I'll do the same.
What is it? The talent scout for the Dunmo Flitch just walked in.
No, the ancient mariner. If he fixes us with his glittering eyes, too late he has no escape.
Hello.
Hello there.
Do you mind if I join you? It's rather crowded again this evening. There's no room anywhere else.
Glenda, will you set another place for Mr. Chance?
Yes, of course. Good evening, Mr. Chance.
Good evening, Glenda. You're sure I'm not interrupting you? You seem, well, a little preoccupied when I arrived.
Well, I was quoting a little poetry, Barbara.
How romantic. Glenda, how come we're so full again this evening? Is there something special going on?
Well, it's been like this the last couple of evenings, actually. And we've had some overbookings, which haven't helped. Right, would you like to order?
Yes, I'll have parma ham and melon, sautéed kidneys, fried potatoes and beans, please.
Any wine?
Yes, David, what do you recommend? Chateau Borgia?
No, I don't trust Spanish wines. Give Mr. Chance half a bottle of number 45. Will you put it on my bill?
Right, thank you.
Thank you, Glenda.
Thank you. Waitress. You know, it was extraordinary.
I told you this is not
Sometimes...
table. Will you please excuse me? Look, get off, will you?
What is going on at that table?
All right, Glenda, now calm down. You're much too good at your job to make a fuss in here, and you've got your other customers to look after. Adam, go and have a word with that man, will you?
Why me?
You're so much better at it than I am.
Better at what?
Being charming, smoothing people down.
All right.
Now, we'll have a little talk later. You can tell me the whole story.
Are you the manager? Yes, I am. Can I help you? We've been sitting here for at least half an hour.
You know, if you'd done that before we were married, I'd have never have gone through with it.
Done what?
The way you conned Adam into dealing with that customer and then quietened Glenda down makes me wonder what you charmed me into doing without my realizing it.
Well, as long as you don't realize, it doesn't matter, does it? No, I wouldn't try it with you. You're much too perceptive.
Oh, you're doing it again. Well, I love it. What with the trouble we've been having recently with generally organizing the staff and running things, you know what this place needs?
A bouncer? Tranquilizers in the water?
Darling, this restaurant's too large and too posh not to have one. It needs a manager, a head waiter.
There's a pretty picture.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Where's Dad?
Oh, at the club.
Uh-huh. You tired?
A little.
Poor old Mum.
Is Sharon all right?
Mm-hmm. Fine.
Did you have a good meal?
Lovely. Mum, Sharon knows Eddie Lee rather better than any of us. And she thinks that if he threatens something, he'll go through with it. That rather takes things out of my hands.
In what way?
I got to the stage where I was considering dropping all this case.
Well, perhaps you should, if everything
I'm
was
a
left as it
copper,
was.
Mum. It's my job. I don't play at it. Is there more about all this that you haven't told me?
No.
Dad's activities?
Oh, can you see him as some great criminal? I've lived with him for 35 years, and I can't. Oh, I'm not going to wash him whiter than white. I know all his failings and his little indiscretions, but... well, the area in which he works is open to a great deal of pressure. He once said to me, "You don't jump into the pool without teeth, or the sharks will have you."
You could, of course, stay out of the pool.
Oh, that would be like asking him not to breathe. What do you feel for him?
Feel? He's my father.
If he were to die tomorrow, would you weep? I would. I have been taken care of all my life. Whatever happened, it's never been allowed to touch me. Or you when you were young. Can you look back on all those years and see him as some leading a fantastic double life as an out-and-out villain? The minute he left our door, I can't.
If Eddie Lee says he can get in 10 years, then we're not talking about minor indiscretions, are we, Mum?
Maybe not. But when you compare your father to Eddie Lee, does he come off worse? He's not a young man, Ashley. If he stopped everything right now and retired...
And what about that breath of life?
He'd have to find it from some other source. And he would. All he needs is the chance. But you can leave the rest to me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
Mr.
morning.
Harvey. See you later, Father.
Okay. I have just brought Rashida to her work. As you see, punctuality is not exclusively a British virtue.
It's a pretty rare one among Britons these days.
We are having a board meeting this afternoon.
Indeed. May I take it that you will have on the agenda my proposal to purchase the new share issue?
Oh, yes, we'll be voting on it, but don't worry about it. We're all in agreement, so it's only a formality.
Oh, I'm so gratified to hear it. You know, it's not merely a matter of business. Of course, business is important, but it has more meaning to me than a simple commercial transaction.
I don't understand.
You may have heard I've got 1 or 2 shops and other enterprises. But these shops have no true roots into the community. But this motel is a profession, a service, which has become firmly established and is a totally British enterprise. By associating myself with this motel, I shall be putting down my own modest root in a country which has adopted me.
Well, that's very nice of you to say so.
Yes, well, I suggest that you turn up to the motel about 6 o'clock this evening. By then, the meeting should be over, and we can welcome you formally as the director of the motel.
This is a happy day for me, Mrs. Harvey, Mr. Chance. I shall be here at 6 o'clock precisely. Good day to you both.
Good day.
Cheerio.
Yes. Yes, please. Oh, and you'd better send me some spare cartridges. Thank you. Bye-bye.
What's all this? Kill Adam. Alibi depends on meal times. How to dispose of the body in daylight. And now you're ordering cartridges. Barbara, is there something you want to tell me?
I had a rather clever idea for a whodunit. I thought I might try it for my next book. And those are the notes I was making.
Sounds promising. I particularly like the idea of killing Adam. I'm all for a happy ending.
Not our Adam.
Oh, well. And the cartridges?
Ribbon cartridges for my new typewriter. Which reminds me, Carol's leaving us and taking on a full-time job with a garage.
Did I miss something somewhere? I'm quite sure there is a perfectly logical connection between killing Adam, cartridges, and Carole making up her mind to leave us.
I was making those notes when Sharon came in to talk to me about Carole.
I see. Yeah, what looked like being a stimulating and out-of-the-ordinary day is slowly settling down to its usual tedium. By the way, you better get on to the catering agencies and the trade press about the new vacancy. Morning.
Morning, Joe.
Morning. What was that about a new vacancy?
It's for a head waiter to run the restaurant properly.
Well, it's the first I've heard of it. And judging by our experience last time, I think we'd just be buying ourselves trouble. No, I'm against the whole idea.
How about runner beans?
Take 'em or leave 'em myself.
No. I mean planting them. Is it too late? End of March, beginning of April. It's getting on a bit.
But don't ask me, love. I'm not a gardener. Got it all worked out, have you? Grow your own and stuff the common market.
This time next year, we're going to be self-sufficient.
Oh, yeah.
All the veg we need up to our own back door. Might even grow a few apple trees.
Yeah, well, so long as you don't keep hens at the bottom of the garden.
That's a great idea. Free-range eggs.
Oh, yeah. I can just see Arthur Brownlow buying that. Especially if you keep him happy with a randy cockerel or two.
At least he won't need an alarm to get him up in the morning.
Yeah.
You don't think we're going to have any problems with him, do you?
Oh, keep your head down for a bit.
Eh?
Oh, come on, Mac. Anybody would have to with Arthur Brownlow. You get on all right with Kath and Glenda?
Yeah.
Well, there you are, then. Yeah, how about your mortgage? You did put Reggie's check in the bank.
Oh, yeah, did that a couple of days ago.
Good, no problem, then.
I'm still not too happy about that, though.
Strings.
No, not in so many words.
You don't fancy being under an obligation to the boss?
Not when it's Mr. Reginald Lamont, Esquire. And I know what I know.
Oh, he's all right in his way.
When he gets it, yeah.
Oh, look, come on, you want this house. You're sitting there with your gardening catalogue, planning your seed beds and everything else. Shangri-La, isn't it?
Temple bells and all.
So it's worth it. So stop worrying. Reg may be a lot of things to a lot of people, but he's very good to his own.
It's not very comforting when you put it in that way.
Oh, you know what I mean. What's a cheque for £1,000 to Reg Lamont?
1,005.
Small change. We start. Crossroads Garage. Mr. Williams. That pickup. Yes, it's ready. Half an hour? Lovely. See you then. You put in some overtime on that?
You got it all down.
And more on the way. Business is definitely improving.
That's brightened up my morning.
So how about promoting Carole?
Eh?
Full time. Oh, come on. We've talked about it. It's been on the cards.
Yeah, but...
I know. She's new. She's got lots to learn, but with training...
Yeah, I don't know. Why not? She's dead keen.
Yeah. But how would it go down with the lads?
Well, Nubby might make a bit of a noise. Why not? Nobody's going to call me a male chauvinist. Anyway, I've got enough problems of my own.
Great. Right, she should be here by now. Go on, call her in.
Carole, you got a moment?
Yeah.
How about the Hunters? They're not going to be too pleased, are they?
I had a word with Mrs. Hunter. It's okay. Morning.
Hi.
Mac has got something to tell you. Haven't you, Mac?
Me?
Well, you're the foreman.
If it's about the oil change on that pickup.
Oh, no, not at all. No, you did well there.
Oh, thanks.
How do you fancy being full-time?
What? Oh, yeah, that would be fantastic.
I've had a word with Mrs. Hunter for you.
Yeah, she mentioned it last night.
And they're willing to let you go?
Well, she's all for it. Her mind's been on nothing but cars for the past few weeks.
Great. So when can you start?
Like today?
And I thought this was meant to be the dawn of a new era of understanding at the motel, when we all work together amicably, discuss things sensibly without arguing. It's getting to be worse than the United Nations.
The trouble with you, David, is that your idea of discussing things sensibly is for us all to tell you how right you are. And if anyone dares to have another opinion, oh, yes, that's arguing.
Now, what's all this about?
We were telling Jill that what we needed was an experienced head waiter to run the restaurant.
Look, I think the best thing to do is to put it down on the agenda and bring it up at this afternoon's meeting.
Fair enough.
Look, I suggest that we have a nice, relaxed lunch to put us all in a good mood.
But as long as it's not in the restaurant.
Don't prod sleeping dogs. Is that the morning mail?
Yes, everything except the motel bookings. I've left those with Rashida's. And there's a couple of things that we ought to have a quick word about.
Telex for Mr. Hunter. Oh, thank you, Ellie. Ellie,
Yes?
could you take the desk over for me, please?
Yes,
I've got to
certainly.
take this through to Mr. Hunter straight away.
Fine, all right.
And secondly, I have asked Mr. Malik to come here and see us at 6 o'clock so that we can welcome him formally onto the board.
Come in.
Mr. Hunter, this telex marked urgent has just come through. It's addressed to you.
Thank you. Better read this to you. Self-explanatory. Most hurt and annoyed to learn that Crossroads Motel is selling shares on open market. Protest in strongest possible terms. Remind you that your company made offer to sell me entire motel operation. Offer was accepted by me, only for offer to be withdrawn quite irregularly and improperly. Insist you have moral obligation to give me first refusal of any additional shares being issued. Hereby declare firm intention to purchase such shares. Please telex immediately confirmation that no sale of shares will be made until such first refusal has been exercised. Signed,
J. Henry Pollard.
Well, that's an unexploded bomb we'd forgotten about.
And it's just started ticking.